check out Banggood.com. That's where this build came from. They've got lots of RC cars and parts and tools and accessories. That's also where I got my Bronco from. See, they still have that available. So click the link in the video description and check out this item. What's going on there, guys? Back in the scale shop. It's been a little while. I was kind of taking some time off. Got a few things in the works that I can't show you yet, so been a little distracted from making videos, but teamed back up with Banggood.com. Check out the links in the video description. And they have sent me this JJRC speedrunner, and we're going to check this thing out. I picked this kit. It seems, so it's the kit, it's RTR. It's all completely ready to run. There's a 1/5 scale, kind of a off-brand, I can't remember what brand it is. A brushless 1/5 scale buggy that looks like this. It's got a hard body, realistic interior. So I thought I would check this out and see. It's still kind of a Twin Hammers style based looking rig. And I've wanted to do a build on a Twin Hammers for a long time. So I figured we'd start with something like this. The link in the video description will take you there. I think it's around $100. I haven't had it on sale for a while. So let's check it out. Alright, so out of the box we've got a kind of a universal charger. Has a adapter for American outlets. Got some instructions, and we've got a little tool bag with a plastic 4-way and a plastic tiny Phillips head. But the main reason I like this, I mean, it does have just springy air-filled shocks. There's no oil, but it's got a hard body, and I believe it has front LEDs. Doesn't have any lights up here actually, but it does have a place to put them. Oh no, I see a circuit board. We'll have to turn it on here a little bit and see what we got. But it's very similar to the Twin Hammers. Hoping with a shock upgrade we can make it perform a little bit better. I've seen some other videos on YouTube and things about it, but for now we're just going to try it out of the box. We have a scale bead lock wheel with tiny Phillips head screwdrivers. It's got a fair amount of flex, considering it's just basic shocks. But we've got kind of a scale interior. It's got a little bit of interior going. It's got seats, shifter, dash, steering wheel. The battery is here in the back. Pull these two pins. Your spare tire lifts up, which it does have a functional spare tire. Just air filled. It has a 3000 milliamp, 7.4 volt, 20C nickel battery. It's not a LiPo. And these do come with a Dean style connector, which is a little bit better than the old Tamiya ones. I need to upgrade all my stuff to those, but that's another story for another time. The controller, it's basic, small, it's lightweight. Actually has foam on the wheel. Doesn't feel bad. The steering doesn't. Doesn't give you a whole lot of options. It's, like I said, it's pretty basic. We've got steering trim and throttle trim, and that's about it. On and off. Takes 4 AA batteries. Pretty standard. Looking at the bottom, we have a trailing arm rear suspension. It looks like you could mount the shocks on the trailing arms, but they are mounted on the axle for some reason. But there are mounts in the actual trailing arms, and they give a little bit, but they're not too bad. We have metal joints on the axle, on the drive shaft, plastic shaft itself. Front we have a metal skid plate with some, maybe, yeah, those are aluminum mounts for the front control arms. It is 4-wheel drive. And the best part of this is it does actually have a 540 motor. It's not a 320 size like some of the Feiyu version of this type rig. I remember what the Feiyu Fighter, that's what it is. You've seen so many of those around. All the steering links and stuff are plastic. It's got a little bit of play in it, but not bad. Alright guys, so I've got the battery charged. Thing's got some speed. Got my steering trim set. It's real simple on the controller here. There's not a whole lot of adjustment. Got our steering trim. Not sure what that one does, if anything. But we've got headlights and roof lights, which is pretty cool. The roof lights are kind of dim. It's kind of neat. It's a neat effect. I like the fact that it's a hard body. Even though it's, it doesn't really look like anything that you've seen, it's still a hard body. The next step is to get it outside and bang around on it a little bit, see what it does in stock form. I do want to take one of these tires off real quick, see what kind of hubs we've got. I've seen some videos, some folks have swapped out the tires and wheels to a more hobby grade setup. We do have a 12mm hex with a pin, which I just dropped. These wheels are kind of odd. They're like a 1.5 on one side and a 1.9 on the other. Kind of like the Traxxas Slash wheels are. So it is upgradable. You could just bolt on some scale crawler wheels. If I can pick this pin up. It is very fast. I dropped it in the floor just a minute ago just to see, and it's all over the place. It wants to go. So this will be fun to get outside. Like I said, I'm going to run it here in the stock form, and then we can come back and start making some mods to it and see where this build might take us. I know the electronics and stuff are not full hobby grade. I've already seen videos on that. I'm not going to tear the body apart right now and talk about that. We'll do that, cross that bridge when we get there. But this thing will get. And so far it's a little stiff, a little springy, but not too bad. Steering actually feels real good. It has what feels like a normal steering servo. It's not any kind of motor or weird mechanism. The front suspension feels really good with the cantilever setup. Like I said, it's just like a twin hammers. The shocks are inboard, mounted with a link to the control arm. The rear is super springy, so we'll just have to see how that does. So after a first handful of jumps, the rear drive shaft broke. And if you've seen any other videos on this on YouTube, it seems like it happens to everybody. It's kind of a weird design. I'm not sure. I think the pin actually just shears off because it can't really get out of there. But it comes apart really easy. There's 4 screws, 2 on each side on the bottom, and the whole body just kind of flips back. Very easy to get in here and look around. So while we're here, it's got the slick cantilever front suspension, which actually feels really good. The rear suspension is garbage. It's just too stiff, too springy. The shocks aren't really long enough for this type of rig, so we might look at changing that. But for now, I put an old RC 4-wheel drive plastic Punisher shaft in here. I cut it to length because it is quite short. But it is a bit more robust. I mean, the plastic on this one is okay, but the ends are just weak, even though they're metal. So these seem to hold up pretty well. The plastic usually gives out before the metal ends do. So I've got that on there. We're going to put this thing back together and go back out and bash some more. Now it does have these 2 connectors. When you take the body off, you have to be careful to remove them or you'll damage your wiring for your lights. Alright guys, so that run ended as well. You can see here I've removed the center diff, the main spur gear, the front drive shaft, and what is left of the ball bearings. The front bearing is separated and starting to pop apart. The rear bearing is completely obliterated. There were pieces of it coming out on the back side where the drive shaft attached for the rear axle. So it's kind of an odd size. I'm going to look around and see if I have anything to replace it with. But while we're here, let's take a look at the rest of this chassis. The rest of the chassis, it's pretty durable feeling. I think there's some issues. Sometimes when you turn it on, it doesn't come on right away. I think that's just shoddy wiring. Like I said though, it's a 540 motor, has an aluminum mount, cantilever shocks. There's not really, it's just a 2-gear setup. You have your spur and your pinion, and you get direct drive shaft out the back, and this CV shaft, it goes to the front with a dog bone on the end. But that's probably the nicest, highest quality part on this entire driveline. If it holds together. It does have the same kind of spring retainer that the rear drive shaft had, but that one is not going to move around, well, except for when your ball bearings explode on your spur gear. But but yeah, it was running full front wheel drive, a little bit to the back with no resistance, but it was slipping pretty bad and just wobbling around in there. As long as we didn't damage the back of the box here, which is part of the chassis, it will be alright. Looking at this, I don't understand. I think it's just metal weights. Just little metal plates to balance out the weight between the 540 engine. I'm not sure. I haven't never had a twin hammer. I've always wanted one, but it didn't seem big and robust enough to spend what they cost. I think the kit is still $240 or so, somewhere around that. And I think that at this time I'm filming this is around 80 bucks. So, you know, you get what you pay for. It does have the same CV shafts on the front 2 axles. But like I said, that independent front end is gonna hold up a lot better than that plastic drive shaft wheel. Our RC 4-wheel drive shaft's doing alright, but like I said, we threw out everything in the middle. So I'm gonna look for some ball bearings. So I don't have any bearings that size, but I did have this. So this is what I've been wanting to do with the twin hammers since they came out. Some kind of hard body. I originally thought about using the Mojave body from RC 4-wheel drive and making like flared fenders and stuff, but I don't know. It lends itself to this bug pretty well. I would probably have to lengthen. Well, I would replace the rear link mounts anyway. I need about ½ an inch of wheelbase added to it, and losing the body, you're going to have to fabricate some kind of back half. So we'd have to do something out here over the back to mount the shocks to. But it wouldn't have to go super far because you could use the mounts here. These arms are durable enough. They probably work, but the uppers are very flimsy. I would replace those. But like I said about the wheelbase, I'd have to do some looking around. I mean, this is a 1/12 scale build, so you can't use any Yeti parts. That's all way too big. You wouldn't be able to use, you'd probably be able to use twin hammer parts. I'm not sure how long their trailing arms are, but we could find something to make it work. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, it's, you know, about 80 bucks for Banggood. Give it a look, and you know, see, the tires are good. The wheels are kind of thin, kind of a toy grade plastic, but you know, it's doable. But I think I may try to do something here with this bug body, because like I said, on the front here as well, it would be pretty easy. You have mounts where I took this crash bar off, and I could fabricate a little mount to use the stock mounting hole on the bug body. Just getting it all situated right and sitting good on the chassis. Be easier than trying to fabricate a whole chassis from scratch. But I've got to do some looking around, see if I can find these bearings. They are very thin. Looks like 4 by 12. Inside diameter is 8. 4 by 12 by 8. I know that they've got to be out there. Obviously there's some here, but these are just not holding up at all. But I got a lot of options to look into. I'm going to look at twin hammer chassis and see how it's configured, see how the gearbox is and everything. It may be better to go ahead and swap that on here, but I have to make sure it's all interchangeable with the front diff and the drivetrain and all that, because that all seems well and good here on the front end. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to check out banggood.com, and I thank them for sending me this, because we might be able to make something actually really cool out of it. So I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video.